Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're dissecting a monumental paradigm shift. We're going to look at exactly how the year 2026 definitively ended the glorious 40-year era of heavy, plastic, depreciating gaming consoles and ushered in an age of absolute cloud dominance. So if you've been wondering why you literally can't find a massive $600 PlayStation 6 to shove under your TV, well, you are in the right place.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The end of physical consoles. 2. Solving the latency problem. 3. The subscription economic earthquake. 4. The digital ownership crisis. And finally, 5. Beyond 2026, the future. Let's dive in.
Section 1. The end of physical consoles.
You know, the concept of cloud gaming was really just sitting around waiting for global infrastructure to catch up. Look at how this built up over 16 years. Back in 2010, OnLive pioneered the whole concept, but they basically suffocated under archaic copper wire infrastructure. Then, in 2019, Google Stadia launched and, well, failed spectacularly. But by 2025, the global rollout of mainstream 6G and Starlink V4 networks fundamentally changed the math. They dropped the global median ping below 15 milliseconds. And that leads us directly to 2026, where heavy physical PlayStation 6 units were officially canceled.
Dr. Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, really hit the nail on the head here. She summed up exactly why this had to happen. Basically, the thermal limitations of a rigid plastic box sitting under your TV meant local hardware could simply no longer achieve photorealistic rendering or true path tracing. It just couldn't do it. Moving the compute to multi-billion-dollar data centers wasn't just an option anymore. It was literally the only viable vector for evolution.
Moving right along to Section 2, solving the latency problem. For decades, the ultimate enemy of cloud gaming was input lag. I mean, no competitive gamer wants to pull a trigger and then wait half a second for their avatar to actually fire. But edge computing and next-generation networks completely obliterated the issues of legacy copper wire. Look at the numbers here. Legacy copper gave you an unplayable 55 millisecond ping, but today, fiber to the home drops that to just 6 milliseconds. Even rural gamers out there using Starlink V4 are seeing around 28 milliseconds. By using decentralized edge data centers, micro data centers located right in your local city, the data simply doesn't have to travel as far. The speed of light is finally back on the gamer's side.
So the crucial thing to understand here is analyzing Stadia's fatal technical and economic errors compared to the victorious platforms of 2026. Stadia actually expected users to pay a full $60 retail price for a game on a pretty volatile stream. And even worse, they used heavy H.265 video compression. That's essentially forcing a massive, brittle video file down your internet pipe, which caused severe artifacting the second your connection dipped. The 2026 Titans survived because they pivoted to an all-inclusive subscription model, and much more importantly, they adopted a breakthrough technology called neural video compression.
Let's break down exactly how neural video compression works, because it is absolutely the magic bullet for cloud gaming. In Step 1, instead of sending heavy, uncompressed pixel color data across the internet, the cloud server transmits lightweight mathematical motion vectors. Next, in Step 2, a tiny, inexpensive neural processing unit inside your 2026 smart TV receives those vectors. Finally, in Step 3, your local AI literally hallucinates the missing pixels to instantly generate a flawless 8K 120 frames per second image. It's wild. This drops bandwidth requirements from a massive 150 megabits per second down to a highly stable 45 megabits.
That brings us to Section 3, the subscription economic earthquake.
Plus 1,900%. Yeah, take a second to just let that number sink in. This staggering figure represents the explosive growth trajectory of cloud subscriptions from 2023 all the way to 2026. The entire gaming industry's business model was fundamentally rewritten practically overnight. It's now completely predicated on monthly recurring revenue. Eradicating the physical console triggered a horrific tsunami across the global supply chain, and this nearly 2,000% surge in subscriptions became the new financial lifeblood of the entire medium. This transition was basically an extinction-level event for physical retail. Just look at the cratering here. Physical game retail dropped by 94%, effectively killing off traditional brick-and-mortar stores. Home console hardware is down 82%. Meanwhile, cloud subscriptions ballooned to a $120 billion market cap. To put that in perspective, Microsoft generates more revenue from Xbox cloud subscriptions in one single quarter of 2026 than they did in 2 entire years of physical Xbox hardware sales.
As a result of this massive shift,
75% of all global gaming compute is now handled by enterprise data centers. This sent NVIDIA's valuation straight to the moon as tech giants rushed to buy enterprise servers, all while starving traditional chip makers who relied on massive bulk processor orders, those APUs, to power local home consoles. The balance of computational power completely inverted.
But it's not all upside. Section 4, the digital ownership crisis.
This technological and economic utopia crashes directly into a severe consumer nightmare. When computation shifted entirely to the cloud, we hit a massive digital dilemma. So let's weigh the reality. In the green corner, we've got the absolute advantages. We gain incredible frictionless access. You have zero hardware costs, meaning the permanent end of that endless $600 upgrade cycle. You get infinite visual fidelity because you're utilizing $40,000 data center GPUs. There are zero downloads, absolutely no 100 GB day one patches, and you get ultimate portability. You can literally pause an 8K game on your TV and resume it flawlessly on your phone while you're riding the subway.
But then we look at the red corner, the fatal flaws. The most glaring one is the total eradication of digital ownership. You own absolutely nothing. You are merely renting a temporary access token. If a music license expires somewhere, a corporation can permanently delete your game at a moment's notice. Furthermore, you have a strict umbilical cord to your ISP. There is no offline mode whatsoever. Streaming 8K neural video consumes a massive 20 gigabytes of data per hour. And of course, this means the total death of the used game market. You can't exactly lend a game to a friend if the physical disc doesn't even exist anymore.
Finally, let's look ahead. Section 5, Beyond 2026, the future.
People constantly ask, is the traditional PlayStation 6 definitively canceled? The answer is a resounding yes. Sony confirmed they will not manufacture a heavy local processing machine. Instead, the so-called PS6 is simply a highly optimized $50 USB-C dongle used merely for neural decoding. The processing box is officially dead.
And because computation is now completely untethered from local devices, strategists are predicting an even wilder frontier for the 2030 horizon. We're talking brain-computer interfaces, or BCI. By 2030, the cloud will allow us to bypass screens entirely. Games won't be pre-rendered loops anymore. They will be generative realities crafted by AI on the fly, responding instantly to your biometric data and neural impulses. You won't just play the simulation, you'll literally inhabit it.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this core truth. Just as Netflix did to cinema and Spotify did to music, the gaming industry has forced us to trade our physical media for ultimate convenience. Resisting this paradigm shift now is like stubbornly purchasing VHS tapes in the era of 4K streaming.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you to ponder this pretty stark reality. The home console is undeniably dead and the cloud is king. But is frictionless cloud access and infinite visual fidelity truly worth the price of owning nothing? Thank you so much for joining me to decode this massive shift and keep questioning the technology that shapes our world.